We had John Higgins in here, and he was talking about having a titanium ferrule. Now, the ferrule is the sort of copper bit that sits just underneath the tip. He was raving about it. Do you have one of those?
I haven't got one.
Why do you not have one?
I'm a bit of a traditionalist, really, so I've stuck with the old tips, the old chalk. Sort of got me this far, but I'm not closed-minded to it, because I do think, you know, sports always evolving. Tennis rackets started off with, and they've used these different rackets, same as in golf. So I probably will at some point give it a go, but it's quite a big thing to change a ferrule. You know, changing the tips one thing, but changing the ferrule. But I will have to try it, because obviously Jimmy and John are raving about it.
They are indeed. Apparently, it can improve your game, but how? Alan Mcmanus apparently has the answer.
Yeah, it's a new innovation, as you say, Andy. Jimmy's had one on. So, Jimmy, what are the benefits to having a titanium ferrule as opposed to the old brass one?
Oh, well, the old brass ferrules, they've done their job, but you know yourself, after a couple of years, maybe 2 or 3 years, you'd have to take the ferrule, you'd have to change your ferrule, put the piece back in the cue, so then the cue eventually becomes no good. With this titanium ferrule, it doesn't move, it will last forever. You know, it's very strong. And what it does is, when you're playing, for example, the figure 8 shot, where you're playing it with sort of not quite a mini swirl, but you're playing with a lot of side, so you're sort of playing to hit the ball half ball. With the amount of side you're putting on it, it ends up like quarter ball to get inside. With this titanium ferrule, you're just playing it quarter ball as you aim it, and the side doesn't actually affect it till it hits the ball.
Yeah, because, excuse me, if I was going to play this, it would almost be a mini swerve, wouldn't it? So yeah. I would be aiming thicker. So what you're saying is you actually aim for the point of contact?
Yes, absolutely.
That's the aim, right?
But okay. Ronnie's right, it does take, you know, it took me, 3 or 4 days, and I thought when I first put it on here, what have I done here? I've made a mistake, because, but loads of pots as well are easier as well, but it takes a bit of time to get used to.
Let's see it then. So you're going to aim on the point of contact, which is actually thin.
Yeah, so I'm aiming where, I want the ball to actually strike the object ball.
Nice. Yeah, so there's no swerve. So
there's no swerve, and it just forgives you a bit, and it makes the shot so much more easier.
Mm. There's a couple of guys using it on the tour, as is Jimmy. It'll be interesting to see if any others take the plunge in the next couple of years. Ronnie, maybe?
Yeah, I must give my cue quickly to John Paris to put one of those on. Maybe I can get in the 10s and 20s. Can you get a little bit bogged down with the science? I know you've talked about the different tips you can have on your cue, hard tip, soft tip. Jimmy's talked about putting tips in ovens before. I mean, there's only so much you can do or not. How much of this is in your mind?
I think the more you put into it, the more you look for clues. It's like a bit of a nightmare. It's somewhere you don't really want to go. I think at the end of the day, you just got to trust your ability, trust your talent. This game is a really hard game, but now and again you play really well. I just don't believe there's any gadget, anything out there that's going to turn an average player into a fantastic player. A lot of it is just you, your technique, your timing, and that comes and goes. Some have better, more efficient corrections than others. It's just a tough game, but always open to look for new stuff that can maybe give you a bit more power, a bit more accuracy, all that sort of stuff you're looking for,
Okay, so you're saying I should chop up my cue and use it as firewood? Is that the advice?
No, not necessarily, but you can tweak it. Like try one of the ferrules, or like the old cues we used to use. I used one for years, a Burwatt Champion, and I just couldn't get rid of it, because I had it all my life. But then I tried a John Paris cue out, and I was like, why didn't I do this 10, 15 years ago? I could go into the pack and it'd break up with like a third of the power, and I was like, so you've always got to be open-minded, I believe.
Okay, just a final word. You can see the players are waiting to come out. John Higgins needs 2 more for a place in the last 4. Can you see anyway?